President Obama, viewed by many investors as a completely anti-business president. We have Warren Buffett, one of the richest men in the world, who, I've seen him ask this question, and he says, look, this guy is not anti-business at all. Obama supporters would say, look, the things that he's done in terms of propping up companies like General Motors and such, any president, no matter what stripe, would have done that, even potentially somebody like Ron Paul. What's your take on something like that? Like, is Obama anti-business one way or the other?
First of all, I know Ron Paul fairly well personally.
Right.
And people who suspect that Ron Paul would prop up General Motors don't know him very well at all.
You don't think he would have?
I don't. There is a strong drift in American politics to fascism. And I think Obama and Buffett are fascists. The idea that a company should not be allowed to fail, I think, is anathematic to a market. Failure is what is required in a market to purge the market of moral risk.
Right.
And so when you ask me if I think Obama is anti-business, it depends on how you define business. If you define business as maintaining brain-dead parastatal fascist structures like JP Morgan Chase or General Motors, then no, he's certainly not anti-business. But I do think that both he and Buffett are anti-market, and I'm pro-market. I think the thing that made the United States as great as it was for many years there was a reliance on market and a sense that it was okay for people to succeed and it was okay for people to fail too.
Right.
And it was that interplay that kept the playing field real. Western societies have probably been living beyond their means for 25 years. We've been consuming as a group of people more than we've been producing for a very long time. And we've been financing it by mortgaging our children's future. The question becomes, how long can we mortgage our children's future, and how many people are willing to buy that mortgage? I think the reckoning is approaching when we have to answer those questions. I'm not sure what the answer will be, but I'm certain that the answer will be interesting to all of us. I think we need to, in the United States as an example, address the defense budget by confining defense to inside our own borders, a concept very foreign to Americans.
Yeah.
I think we need to understand that...
That's revolutionary to most Americans.
I think we need to understand that things like Social Security, when it came into being, you began to get paid at 65, and the average life expectancy of an American male was to 68. So it took care of you in the last 5% of its life. It's morphed into something very, very, very different.
Yeah.
And so the whole sort of infrastructure that Americans have come to believe they have an entitlement to, we can't afford. And to the extent that we stopped lying to people, that it was the job of Mitt Romney or Barack Obama to educate our children and take care of our future, we could solve this problem. But I don't think that solutions that rely on Democrats or Republicans are any solutions at all.
The U.S. and China, they seem to be locked in this embrace, one way or the other. Romney says if he becomes elected, he's going to change that relationship to a certain extent. He thinks China's manipulating their currency. What's your take on China?
I like your prior statement that we're locked in an embrace. I think it's a very good thing. I think that to the extent that we become increasingly dependent on each other, the chances that we shoot at each other decline. I think that we need to build more and more and more interdependence. We need more Chinese investment in the United States. We need more U.S. investment in China. We need more young engineers coming to the United States to learn engineering, more young Chinese engineers. And we need to be smart enough to keep some of them. The idea that we take 80,000 a year and we educate them and we send them home and don't give them HB1 visas is the height of stupidity.
Yeah.
We need deeper engagement, and anything that any of the politicians do on either side of the ocean that lessens that engagement is counterproductive and frankly stupid. I'm an odd person. I shouldn't have to buy gold at all because my life is leveraged to gold in the context of my business,
Sure.
But I own a reasonable amount of it. And despite the fact that I own a reasonable amount, I hope and pray that the gold price falls. The set of circumstances that will cause the gold price to go up to the level that some people at this show are suggesting would be a set of circumstances that would reflect a breakdown in our way of life. And I enjoy my way of life.
We wouldn't be here,
Yes,
I think, if we're talking about $8,000 gold.
Yes,
Right.
or $3,000 gold.
Yeah.
What gold, I think the reason that gold popped the other day was a realization that having a little bit of catastrophe insurance in your back pocket is a good thing. Because one of the roles that gold has fulfilled for 3,000 years has been catastrophe insurance. Other roles, to be sure, a medium of exchange, a store of value, but also an asset class that has done reasonably well in very, very, very uncertain times.